In today's video, I'd like to talk about the 2 feature releases that we've done for Traction Agronomy in the November 2021 release. Those features being custom equations as well as equation adjustments. So as we're going into Traction Agronomy, we're going to want to go into our sample events and look for any results that have populated into our database. So in this case, we're looking for the green check mark under results. And so clicking on that field, you can see that I've got results coming into my database. I'm going to tap on this new recommendation. And here's where the first update comes into play. So any custom equations that you would like added to your database, specific to your database only, we can now add those, and you'll see those as this icon right here. So we start out with the soil test lab equations. So if your lab has provided us with standard equations, we will go ahead and show those first. Then come your custom equations. If you would like to have custom equations added to your database, please reach out to our customer success team, and we're more than happy to work with you on those custom equations. And then finally, you'll see the university equations. So moving on to our second update, I'm going to kind of go in and set up making a recommendation. And here's where we see the second feature show up. Okay, so I'm in making a recommendation, and you now have these icons to be able to adjust your equation. So before I open that up, I'm going to go ahead and choose my products. So for phosphorus, I'm going to choose MAP, potash, and then we're going to use some urea for the nitrogen source. What I can do is I can either see what my recommendation looks like at this point by hitting next and letting it formulate my recommendation, or I could adjust my equation right now. To adjust my equation, I click on the icon, and what we have is we have a nutrient deduct or a product multiplier. What's the difference between these two? So if I want to give myself a credit and it's not in the products that I have listed. So let's say I did a manure application ahead of time and I want to credit myself for the nitrogen that I applied ahead of time. I can come in here and say, okay, well, 100 pounds of nitrogen were applied. Give me a credit for that. And then coming down here is the product multiplier. So this can come into play if maybe I want to do a half rate now and a half rate later. I could put in 50% at this point. Or maybe I want to just kind of play around a little bit with how much I want to apply. So maybe at this point, I just want to apply 90% of this recommendation. I don't want to go with the full 100%. Or maybe I decided I need more than what the recommendation is giving me. So I put in maybe 110% to give me a little 10% boost. In this case, let's say 90. If I go ahead and choose apply, notice over here, it will tell me what I've chosen or the equation adjustments that I've applied to this. I go ahead and do next, and it's going to go ahead and formulate my recommendation. So there's my recommendation. Now, if I'm happy with this recommendation, I'm going to save and close. But what I like to do is in the naming, I like to just say, okay, well, I did 100-pound nitrogen credit, and then I did 90% of the recommendation, and I'm going to save with that in there just so I kind of know what I did in here. But it's really nice the way we've built this out, because I can even come in here. So now here's that recommendation. So if I click on that and I do a share and I come to print and I do my map report and hit go, our developers have also built it in so that now under my urea, you can see I've done a deduct for 100 pounds and a multiplier of 90%. So that comes into your report so you know exactly what you put in there for equation adjustments.